Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Career Mode, episode 86. We are on stage 19 of 21, and for the last time, we are going to go fight it out for an intermediate sprint. Vandenberg on the attack, trying to get up into the group, and there is Peters as well, taking it easy for now and starting to settle in. We've got 13 riders off the front, and Vandenberg just about in contact with these guys as we go over the top of that punchy little hill. The intermediate sprint is early on in this stage. Now let's check where is our top 10 competitors.
There's now more than a minute between the breakaway and the pack. The pack is increasing its work rate. Some teams can't
There we
be
go.
happy with the breakaway.
And nobody else from the top 10 in these top two groups. We've got 13 riders away here. And we are now, there we go, settling in. Trying to make up the ground of those front guys, and it's already a minute to the Peloton with none of the other competitors are here. Put these guys all on auto. Back up here.
Oh, the riders really have no luck with
Yeah.
today's weather.
That's it. Nothing from the top 10. So we should see a maximum of 20 and 17 points for these two guys yet again, as we'll set ourselves up for the final stage, the Champs-Élysées. With things well in hand, just about mathematically secured for the points classification. So settling in now, and 13k to go. We'll be there shortly, and then we'll kind of move straight on to the final stage. We'll also check in on what's going on with the GC, which is still led by Pegacher, even though he did not do very well on the last stage. He's actually pretty comfortably ahead. Whoa, 2k to go. That happened very fast. Peters, go ahead and just lead the way. It's 2k. 1.5. Peters makes it through. Vandenberg follows. And that's gonna do it. And that just about does it for the classification as well. And we're gonna sit on now with our work done. Following stage 20, we begin with our look at the points classification. Peters, Van Aert actually gained some points at the end of stage 19, but stage 20, Peters outgained Van Aert by a little bit. Surprising that there actually was still competition for the intermediate sprint point, but Peters now sits on 329, which is 54 points ahead of Van Aert. 50 to win the stage, but there is 20 for the intermediate sprint, so it is possible, but Van Aert's going to have to win the stage to take it off of us, which means we've just about got the job done. Vandenberg meanwhile has a much closer competition with Van Aert for second place, 19 points ahead of him. Penhope is definitely too far back. Following stage 20, the GC is all but wrapped up with Pegacher ahead of Johannesson. Johannesson was a breakaway rider and ended up moving all the way up into second place after multiple stage victories from the breakaway and closing all the way up to second place. Carapaz slips to third. Yates slips off the podium to fourth. Vingegaard fifth. Hindley, Garcia, Brenner, Evenepoel, and Bernal are the top 10. Just missing out on the top 10 is Simmons, and then Lopez. Van Aert just missing out on top 10 as well, slipping to 16th in the final stages. Peters is going to end up 45 minutes down in 39th overall. KOM, Johannesson wins that comfortably. And then, of course, the surprise to second. Wait, which Johannesson is? Tobias, not Anders. Anders is the one who wins the KOM. Tobias is 6th in the classification. 125s is going to go to Marco Brenner. Peters was 11th there as a team. 18th. We did good.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. The final stage on the Champs-Élysées.
All right, here we go into Paris for the final stage. Peters +3 today. Vandenberg has a +4.
But it hasn't happened very often. With the specialists who currently dominate the discipline It's an even more
No
demanding
advantage in the
challenge.
sprint though. Peters is a 0 in the sprint department. It's the flat rating, it's the stamina that he's going to have a boost to.
The current pace is a bit too docile for
Vandenberg
some
does get
riders
plus
who are
1s
looking
for
to
his
land
sprint and a plus
breakaway.
3 on his flat. And he should be able to do a fair bit in this one. Okay, we're going to operate pretty quickly. 3 riders getting away from now. Bach with a -4 today. We'll use him to protect Peters, I think. Still got some guys getting forward. Piccioni, Ponmar, go ahead and set up. And there is Bach. And we'll protect Peters. Who do we want for the lead out?
There's a few riders jockeying for position at the front.
Don't have much for options today, do we? We need to go with McKellar and his -1s. We'll switch up who is protecting. Piccioni. Take over. But each was 75, and we're already just 13k away from the intermediate sprint. And already entering lap number 1. 9k to the intermediate sprint. 3 riders away means there's a decent amount of points available. And we'll set things up right here as we come up out of the tunnel. 5k to go. This time we ride for Vandenberg. Vandenberg is closer. It's just about a lock for Peters. He doesn't need much. So what do we want to... Ponmar is good enough to do the job. We'll put Ponmar there. And then we'll get Peters leading out Vandenberg. Alright, 5k to go. Push pretty hard. Peters still caught up behind. There he goes. He is really late to this party though, but at least Vandenberg is getting the lead out he needs. There's Peters coming in. 1.8, Ponmar sprinting. Now Peters sprinting.
A courageous rider is looking to break away.
800 meters. Vandenberg going for it. Looks like Peters might end up getting the most points here, but that's okay. Van Aert was just behind us. Others realize that they are mathematically done, but that is no gain. No gain for Van Aert.
The lead over the pack
And
is
that's going to
dwindling.
give
The pack
Vandenberg
is
20 point
increasing its work
advantage
rate.
now.
Some teams can't
And
be happy with the breakaway.
with that, Peters has won the green jersey unless Vandenberg wins the stage and takes enough points from him. But we will not be challenged by anybody else. The last thing that could stop Peters from taking the jersey besides his teammate is crashing out here on this final stage, which it is pouring down rain here in Paris today. But yes, as we prepare for, the final run in, that means that green jersey, this one right there, is ours. Be nice to get a yellow jersey in one of these future seasons, though. Right now, Pogacar is still really, really hard to beat, but he's just had a fall. He's a minute and a half behind. Minute 24 behind, minute 16 already almost back in contact and back together again. Peloton fully intact, no breakaway, no riders off the back. 40k to go for all of those jerseys to get wrapped up. Let's also prepare for the later stage of this race by upping the effort a little bit to hold position near the front. Be nice if they gave you a 1-star cobble rating for this one, just to see it slowly take its toll on the riders. Be nice to see him fighting for the gutter on the side too, to not be in that 1-star cobbled area. 16k, 15k. Alright, here we go. Let's prepare for our final sprint. Final shot. We have won a stage. Wouldn't it be something if we could get a second today? Piccioni, 70 flat though. The weakest. Second half of the team coming in a little bit late. Piccioni's already on the red bar. And now we're in place. Bach taking over. 11K. Ponmar getting ready. Almost to the final time through the tunnel already. 9K to go. And Ponmar's going to take over. Now we have that ideal position here as we are at this stage with 8K to go. Ponmar's gel kicking in a little bit late. Let's get a little bit earlier on these guys. It's the final stage and we're going flat out anyway. Ponmar joining back. Okay, Delay try to steal the wheel here. And Bausch is done, 4.6. Vandenberg's already a little tired. We're down to our last 3 riders. On to McKellar. $3K out, and we're down to our last 2 guys. A little early. This whole 99 thing has taken its toll. Vandenberg and Peters both feeling it, but how much hurting can we put into legs of other riders? Now 2K to go. Now 1.5. Vandenberg's going to start his sprint, and there goes Peters, and he's not going to make it. He is not going to get the red bar till the end, and we get swarmed. Gazzoli takes the win ahead of Groenewegen and Philipsen. Penhout, Einhorn, Van Aert gets 6th. Peters is only 12th. Dang, we don't even crack the top 10. No points for Vandenberg. Has he hung on, or has Van Aert picked up enough points to take 2nd place away? We've got the green jersey, the important one, but have we also claimed a 1-2 in the classification? I'm not sure we have. The team effort at 99 sustained didn't hurt others enough, and it had us in the perfect position, but we were 1 rider short at that end sequence. 1 rider short of where we needed to be in terms of remaining red bar energy to set ourselves up for that final sprint, and that left us short for the last 2 guys. So, points on the stage. Obviously, this is the only one that was in contest today. And Vandenberg picks up 11. Van Aert picks up 24. He gains 13 points on him. That might be enough. Definitely not enough to challenge Peters, but he hangs on 6-point advantage. We do get the 1-2 in the green jersey. Van Aert takes 3rd place on 299. Penhout, Jakobsen, Delay. And of course, unchanged is your top 10 in the GC or the other classifications. We're not touched today as well, but that is good. Let's go ahead and check in on the team and how we are doing so far this season, now that we have not only won the Giro, but now have gone on to claim the green jersey at the Tour. Absolutely crushing the World Tour rankings, especially after that Tour victory. Simmons is 2nd overall. Peters moves up a spot to 3rd overall. It's Krantz who's fallen down the order after his Giro win and not participating in La Tour at all. He drops to 6th place. Podium winner Johannesson moves up to 4th, and Van Aert moves up to 5th. Mikkels is still up in the top 15 in 13th. Tennyson leading the Continental rankings. The Super Prestige is Peters and Krantz in the top 6. Mikkels and Vandenberg both in the top 15. And Van Aert is 2nd in the Super Prestige. In terms of total victories, our under 23s rider Ramirez from Bolivia has 7 wins. Van Aert has 12. Vandenberg, Arrieta each have 4. Peters has 4. Krantz has 4. And Mikkels has 4. Apparently, that's our target this year. 5 riders with 4 victories each. But as a team, even though we don't have the individual exploits of a single rider dominating things, we are dominant as a team. Jumbo-Visma have cut into that gap significantly after that win, but we picked up a decent amount of points as well. So on the tour, we have over 10,000 World Tour points. B&B leading the way in the Continental rankings, and that's not as a Continental Pro team, that is just as a Continental team, surprisingly. But in the Super Prestige, we are well clear on top, 1,000 points ahead of Jumbo-Visma still, and we should be going for GC in the other Grand Tour. So if we at least grab a podium, I don't see why we can't finish the year still the number 1 team of the year. And for me personally, especially if you saw the year in review episode, for me personally, it is the Super Prestige that I base my score on. And simple math on this one, divide the score by 10, just remove that last digit, and our target essentially is 10,658 points so far in the year, with another Grand Tour to go. If you pick up 2,000 points out of that one, we're looking at 858. Pick up 150 over the rest of those, we might be able to hit that 10,000 mark this season. I have a feeling we'll be over 800, maybe approaching 900, meaning pretty dang good year. But you kind of have to go for all 3 Grand Tours to really properly get to that 10,000 mark, but it's completely possible. We have had 30 victories as a team, and our under 23 squad have 18 as well. So we've got a pretty good under 23 squad put together, and we've got a pretty good squad put together, equal with Ineos for the most wins this season. Next up for us is the signing period. Can't wait for that one. We will have our special for that, and then soon after we'll be moving on to La Vuelta. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.